about rodents, rats, mice, and squirrels might come to mind, but there were a lot of rodents, prehistoric rodents back then that grew to immense sizes. Can't forget beavers either. These are all part of the rodent family, but there was one giant rodent that we previously talked about. Meet Joseph Ortegeza Manissi, a giant and an immense bison-sized rodent that lived in South America 3 million years ago. It might have used its thicker than your front thumb teeth. Just as what's that word? Just as modern elephants use their tusks. This rodent was the size of a buffalo. This creature was called Joseph Ortegeza Manissi, but it was also given the name Ratzilla. It had a bite force that was greater than mid-sized crocodiles and tigers, and they probably used those teeth for digging up roots and defending themselves from predators. Their teeth wasn't good at grinding up grass, so they might have ate aquatic plants, just as a modern day capybara does. Probably ate softer vegetation like probably roots and underwater aquatic plants. And they might have used some teeth to display dominance. And I'm pretty sure they were territorial, and they have several relatives. One closest relative was the biggest rodent, the capybara, whose closest relative is guinea pigs, and they were even thought to be related to pigs. Yeah, we got capybaras, who could be their closest relative, and then we got chinchillas, who could also be their closest relative. But to me, it looked more like a giant prehistoric capybara than a giant rodent like creature like the chinchilla. So this was actually the biggest rodent that ever roamed the earth. So the capybara wasn't the biggest land rodent wasn't the big land dueling rodent. The Joseph Ortegeza Manissi, also known as Ratzilla, was. It probably lived in water as well as the capybara does. They probably got into fights for mating sessions and for dominance, just as modern day cappies does. It was the size of a buffalo, and their teeth were up to 1 inch long. So if one bit you, you would have bled out and died. And they were territorial. But now modern day capybaras have to worry about a killer snake that can grow up to 25 meters long and can weigh over 300 pounds. The green anaconda is also a constrictor, and it has this method, a coiling method, where it coils itself around the large rodent. Yeah, it has this constricting power. It kind of reminds me of what crocodiles do when they do the death row thing. Like they twist prey to bite chunked pieces. Anacondas kind of do that, except they constrict. And once they constrict their prey, well, it causes cardiac arrest and the prey eventually dies. They eat capybaras. They have to worry about a discount crocodile, the black caiman. Ratzilla had a bite force that was stronger than modern day tiger. But whoever feels bad for the capybara, caimans get victimized too. They get victimized too, and they also get weaponized by other creatures, and they become victims for pretty much anybody. They can become prey for the real king of the jungle, with a leopard on steroids. So yeah, jaguars victimize them too. They get victimized by everybody, and that includes giant river otters. And jaguars go for the head, and they pierce their canines into their prey's head and drags it back into the water. Sometimes the jaguar just flex and just jump into the water and literally kills the caiman right in its own hood, right in its own watering hole. It just goes in, pierces the caiman with its sharp canines and drags it out of the water like a disobedient child. This happened in Brazil, and it shows a large female jaguar. It's kind of funny how they call female tigers tigeresses and lionesses, but jaguars are just called jaguars. Like, why aren't they not called jaguaresses or something like that? So she goes into the marshes and pounces on a caiman and eventually kills it. The caiman was a fighter, and then the female jaguar decided to just drown the discount crocodile. And then it was drowned underwater and dragged out. Caimans can weigh several pounds. But cappies also have to worry about this steroid leopard, because look at this. This capybara just thought it was going to chew on some leaves when the jaguar was retaliated and it just ran at the capybara. I'm gonna put this in slow motion. Okay, it is in slow motion. Look at the capybara just was trying to chew some vegetation, and the jaguar was like, no, I'm gonna hunt you. It just ran at the capybara. Look, the capybara was just trying to eat some leaves. Look at the jaguar. Runs after the capybara. Yeah, and this is in slow motion.